everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 196. Getting close to 200 here. So before we start off, you know the drill. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Hit that little thumbs up. Tell your friends. And hit that little motherfucking bell below to be notified when I publish new content. So today is going to be another one of my revisiting forgotten bands. And today's band is Elf. Unless, well, maybe some people don't know these guys. I'm not going to say unless you've been living under a rock. Who is Elf? I didn't know who Elf was until much later in the game. Obviously, we're talking about Ronnie James Dio's band before he was in Rainbow. Now, any Ronnie James Dio fan should have these albums in his or her discography. If not, that's okay. It's not metal. It is hard rock rock blues, not hard rock, rock and blues. But you know what? The more I listen to it, the more I friggin' love it. It's just something different. So we're going to be revisiting the band Elf, and we'll go through that. So they were formed in 1967 by bass and vocalist, and yes, you did hear correctly, bassist and vocalist Ronald Patavona, who would later become Ronnie Dio and then Ronnie James Dio. Doug Thaler on keyboards, Gary Driscoll on drums, Nick Pantis on guitar, and David Feinstein on guitar. If that name is a little bit familiar to you, he's actually Ronnie James Dio's cousin, who went on to form the Rods in 1980, I believe. So, first of all, cheers. Forgot to do this. And here comes my other key thing again there. Yeah, it's more. Sounds like a duo sharp. Whatever, Dan. Anyway, so that was in 1967. That was the first lineup. They were called, first of all, before they were called Elf, they were called the Electric Elves, and then the Elves in 1968, only to go to become Elf in 1972. And of course, to jump on the bandwagons, and of course I did buy it there. Probably listened to this once or twice there. So this is not an Elf album, so it's another one of those lenticular. So the album's called and before Elf, there were Elves. So this is pre-Elf, yeah. And before Elf, there were Elves. Anyway, this is just to cash in on Dio's good name, I guess, there. I don't remember. Anyway, I guess I should listen to this here. I prefer Elf there, but yeah, anyway, this is a little more. But anyway, this is technically, I guess, the first one, which has got they're just demo qualities here. So anyway, so that happened. So then the guitarist Nick Pantis died in a car crash in 1968. So Doug Thaler, which was the keyboardist, he moved to guitar, and they hired Mickey Lee Soul for keyboards. Thaler then became a booking agent who actually booked Elf eventually in the future. So now they were a four-piece. Now, some of these names, other names that you might recognize, more to come on that later, of other band members in that in the band. So 1972, comes Elf's first album. You recognize this guy on the cover? This is actually Ronnie James Dio. Actually, at the time, Ronald Padavona. Yeah, Dio is so much easier to say. But yeah, that's him dressed up with the ears, and I guess he had a beard at the time there. This is actually produced by Roger Glover and Ian Pace of Deep Purple, who Elf were actually the opening act for a few years for Deep Purple back in this era. So yeah, this is Elf's first album, just called Elf. Hoochie. You know what? I've actually re-listened to this one of late. This used to be my least favorite, but you know what? It's like boogie woogie rock to a point there. But you know what? Would I have listened to this band had it not been Dio's band before? No, nobody would have probably. But you know what? Because of the connection, started to like these guys. Like I said, I don't love them. They're not always on my turntable, but when you want to hear something different, some boogie woogie blues rock there, yeah, I'll listen to this album. So here's Elf's first album from 1972. So, and Ronnie Padavona, I can't pronounce this, is bass and vocals here. So after this album got created, then they hired Craig Gruber as a full-time bass player, so Ronnie Padavona could concentrate solely on vocals. Mm. This is a complicated history here to try to say out loud. Anyway, then he got a bass player. Then Ronnie Padavona's cousin Feinstein quits the band. So they go and hire Steve Edwards on guitar. Now, 1974, they release, now depends which version you have here. I seem to have a different version than most people here. So I have it as LA 59, but their second album is mostly known as Carolina County Ball. Now, I would say Carolina County Ball is like a boogie woogie song, but I really, really love the song LA 59. That's just a good blues rock track there. Happy is it's a great vocal track too. I don't know. This is probably my favorite. Well, tied. You know what? I like them all equally. I'm not gonna pick a favorite. And of course, there's a song called Rainbow. More on that subject later on, but that's probably the first time we'll hear that. Well, yeah, it's a good album. I like this one, but especially the song LA 59. Friggin' love it. So, 1974 Carolina County Ball. So, of course, being an opening act for Deep Purple, Ronnie James, actually at this time, he was known as Ronnie Dio. So he went from Ronnie Padavona, there you go, I said it, to Ronnie Dio on this album. So yeah, his voice was getting popular. So same year, he was asked to sing on Roger Glover's Butterfly Ball, which I actually thought this was a little bit later in the game, but apparently this was the same year as Elf. I thought this was after Rainbow for some reason. But yeah, he sings 3 songs on this: Love Is All, Homeward, and what was the other one there? Sitting in a Dream, which I first heard on a Deep Purple DVD in concert, which Ronnie Dio sang 2 tunes as a guest star. So yeah, he went and sang. So this happened at the same year as this, believe it or not. I thought for some reason this was a lot later in the game, but guess not. So yeah, he is slowly making a name for himself, Ronnie Dio at the time. Actually, what is his, does it say what his name is? Ronnie Dio, yeah. So still only known as Ronnie Dio also for this. So not only is he catching the eye or the ear of Roger Glover, but he also caught the eye or ear of Ritchie Blackmore because he was getting a little bit fed up with Deep Purple at that time. More on that later. Or how about now? So Ritchie Blackmore decides to take three of the five members of Elf. So he decides to take Gary Driscoll, Craig Gruber, and Mickey Lee Soul, and of course, here it says Ronnie James Dio. I don't understand there. So they actually went and recorded this with Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. But at the same time, they were, yeah, see, this is a reissue because there's no way this would, the original one would say featuring Ronnie James Dio. No, this is obviously a reissue. Well, I know it is because I bought it there. But same time that they recorded this, they were recording this, released it, but never toured for it. So Trying to Burn the Sun, and let me tell you, there's some beautiful songs on this here. My favorite one is Wonder World. Liberty Road's a good one. Good Time Music is a beat one, not usually a streetwalker. But yeah, I love the title too, Trying to Burn the Sun. Yeah, it's a great one. Just nothing ever happened because this happened at the same time. And we all know what happened. This is album number 1 for Ronnie James Dio as the lead singer of Rainbow. But we're not going to talk about Rainbow today. That's going to be an episode for another day. And there you go, my friends. That is the end of this episode here. That was the history of Elf. It's a short one, but you know what? If you've never tried, just try it on YouTube just to see if you like some Elf. Like, try out the song. Here, I'll give you some songs to try out. Wonder World. LA 59. Happy. And Hoochie Coochie Lady. Start with those ones just to give you an idea of what Elf sounds like. It's amazing to listen to Elf, then Rainbow, then Black Sabbath, then Dio. Kind of the evolution or devolution, whatever you want to call it there. Depends on your musical tastes, I guess, there. But his Ronnie James Dio has paid his dues big time. And but yeah, I do like Elf a lot. But you know what? Tonight, when going to bed, I'm going to go listen to And Before Elf. And Before Elf, There Were Elves. There you go. Don't listen to that one enough. It's never in my mind there. But I do listen to Elf a lot more than that one there. So anyway, that is my episode on Elf. Hope you guys enjoyed. On that note, we shall see you guys next time and have yourselves a good whatever. Take care. Bye-bye.